Representative Elise Stefanik of New York's 21st Congressional District is officially preparing to launch her campaign for New York governor later this summer, according to two sources. According to those same sources, they say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when she launches this bid, adding that Stefanik will announce at the time and place that she believes is appropriate. And speculation has been swirling for many months at this point whether Stefanik would jump in this race. She was a very close ally of President Donald Trump and would seek the top executive office in the Empire State. Now, obviously, we know earlier this year, Elise Stefanik, she was nominated to be the ambassador to the United Nations by President Donald Trump. However, on March 27th, 2025, Stefanik's nomination was withdrawn amidst concerns in the House how her departure would affect the Republican majority. Obviously, we know that the special election would be set by Kathy Hochul, the Democrat governor. She could delay that. We know the Republicans have a very, very slim majority in the House right now, and every vote counts. Right now, though, in a potential matchup in the primaries, we are clearly seeing that Elise Stefanik has the upper hand. Polls show her leading in a hypothetical Republican primary. A poll conducted by Gray House found that Stefanik has a commanding lead over fellow Representative Mike Lawler from New York, who is considering a run. Roughly, he's at 44% to 7% among GOP voters. Elise Stefanik. Now, obviously, there has been two more polls that have been conducted here, but the next one doesn't do much better. By coefficient, Elise Stefanik is getting 56% in this Republican primary poll when Mike Lawler is still pulling in a single digit. Now, there was a Siena College poll that came out about little over a month ago at this point with a 4.3% margin of error, showing Lawler with a 22, roughly a little under 1 out of every 4 voters that will vote in a Republican primary would vote for him, over Stefanik, who's getting about 35%, or roughly 3.5 out of every 10 voters that would vote in a Republican primary. Now, it should be noted in this race, Elise Stefanik is the only person she hasn't declared yet, but obviously this is an opinion announcement. She would be the only major Republican who is in this race as of right now. And to add on to that, we talk about people like Mike Lawler. Something to think about. President Donald Trump has already endorsed Lawler for re-election in his re-election for Congress. Obviously, we know Mike Lawler, he represents New York's 17th congressional district. He won in 2024 by 6 points. Remember, this is a district that has a partisan voting index of roughly about a Democrat +1, Democrat +2. This would be a Democrat seat if Mike Lawler was not here. Now, granted, I believe there are other Republicans who could also win in the seat. Mike Lawler is liked in his district. He's able to win in a district that voted, and I guess we should just look real quick, they voted for Kamala Harris by a point, and he won by 6.5. I think that's something that should be very well noted. And remember, this county or this district also voted for Lee Zeldin by 4 points back in 2022. Things that we need to keep in mind going into this election in 2026. Mike Lawler is a good Republican. Obviously, he's a Republican that represents a purple district. He's not your most MAGA Republican you're ever going to meet. But I believe he could be much better suited in Congress than he will be running to be the next governor. Ultimately, I believe the more people that jump in this race, the more it's going to hurt the Republicans' chances that they win this race just to begin with. And Elise Stefanik clearly has a commanding lead in the hypothetical polling as of right now. Now, you may be asking yourself why. Why are we talking about a Republican primary in the state of New York for a gubernatorial election? Isn't New York, don't they vote for Democrats by like 30 points? Partially. At one time, yes, New York was an extreme Democrat stronghold. It was. Go back to 2016. Hillary Clinton won the state by 22 points. Joe Biden won it by 23. Barack Obama in 2008 won it by 26. In 2012, he won it by almost 30 percentage points. But there are two elections that we need to look at. Number one, we need to look at the gubernatorial election from 2022, when now Administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, Lee Zeldin, who was also a popular congressman from New York, ran. He ran in New York and came roughly, as we can see right here, within 6 points of defeating incumbent governor Kathy Hochul. Obviously, she was the lieutenant governor who replaced Andrew Cuomo when he resigned amid some sexual harassment allegations, but still, In a state that not that long ago, in 2018, voted for Governor Cuomo by almost 25 points, turns around in 22 and votes for Kathy Hochul by single digits. By single digits here. Many credit Lee Zeldin in 2022 with delivering the House for Republicans. They believed that a strong contender at the top of the ticket was able to pull a lot of congressmen, a lot of Republicans in these congressional races over the finish line. You can see right here that there were Republicans flipped 4 districts held by Democrats in 2022. New York Congressional District 4, 3, 17, and 19. They also held on to 2 very close in 22 and also in, that's only 1 there. And I guess you could say New York 1 as well. But still, New York 22, very, very close election right here, within a point. And now it makes sense why, yes, we're looking at the 2026 matchup. We see Stefanik has a clearly commanding lead over Mike Lawler in this election. But also, look at the map here. It is going to be much easier to recruit a candidate to run in New York's 21st congressional district where they're going to win by 20 points. Remember, this is a congressional district that voted for Donald Trump. Look at this, by 21 points. Yes, did Stefanik run behind Trump? Did Trump run behind Stefanik a little bit? Yes. May the next congressperson run a little bit behind Trump, maybe wins by 19, 17, 18, 20 points. Sure, you can make that argument, but who's going to be harder to replace? A Republican who's won in a district that has a partisan index that leans towards the Democrats, or a state that leans towards Donald Trump, leans towards the Republican Party by roughly 25 percentage points. The Cook Political Voting Index is a R plus 10. It voted for Trump by 21 points. Which one is going to be easier? It all makes sense here. It is all clear as day on why Stefanik may be the better choice here. But getting back to it, Democrats have been losing a lot of ground in the Empire State. There's no doubt about that. Right now, there is a major election prediction that has this as a battleground state. Now, obviously in mine, I still have this as a likely Democrat seat. I believe Democrats will win between 5 to 10 percentage points in the state of New York as of where things stand right now. But look, things aren't looking good in the Democrat primary. Kathy Hochul is currently being primaried by her own lieutenant governor. Her own lieutenant governor is running against her in the primary. And look at the polling. The polling's clear that Kathy Hochul is leading in this election. But she's got 50% twice in polls. She's an incumbent governor of the state of New York, a state that voted for Joe Biden by almost 25 percentage points. And the incumbent governor is not even receiving 50% support in the primary as of right now. And look at this. In these same polls, it was asked, would you vote for Kathy Hochul or a different candidate in a general election? Different candidate won in every single poll that was taken. Every single poll that was taken. Yes, do we see Kathy Hochul still beating Mike Lawler as of right now? Do we see Kathy Hochul beating Elise Stefanik? We still do see that. But ultimately, I believe that Elise Stefanik is the best option as of right now to run in this state, considering all things, not just based on winning, but also being able to hold competitive seats in the House of Representatives. I think it's unlikely. I do think it's unlikely that a Republican is going to win the seat. But I think you can continue to expose how weak the Democrats are in the state of New York right now. The major infighting that's occurring within inside of the state, it's almost second to none. What other states have shifted this much? There's basically 2 states that you can look at. You can look at California and you can look at New York. California shifted 9 points to the right. New York shifted 10 points to the right. Illinois shifted 6 points to the right. What other liberal bastions, liberal strongholds? New Jersey, 10 points. I think New Jersey is a big one. I think Cory Booker is going to win re-election in 26. Do I think there's a serious competition with Jack Ciattarelli against Mikey Sherrill in the gubernatorial election in 25? Absolutely. Absolutely. But New York shifted among the largest among these blue states. It's insane how much the state has shifted. But I believe between all of these, between the fact that you're going to have a strong Republican contender in Elise Stefanik in 2026, most likely leading the ticket in 2026, or at the top of the ticket, I should say. The fact that Democrats, their margin was cut in almost half in 2024. You look at the gubernatorial election in 2022. Lee Zeldin comes within 6 percentage points of winning this election. Add in the fact that New York voters clearly want someone else. They want a different candidate, and her own lieutenant governor is primarying her. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say that Republicans are going to be expected to win or even will win or even have a 50% chance of winning, because I don't believe that's true. I believe Republicans may have maybe a 10, 15, 20% chance of winning this election. But I believe there is no better time than this upcoming election to exploit the chaos in the New York Democrat Party. Look what just happened in New York City with Zohran Mamdani winning the Democrat primary over former Governor Andrew Cuomo. Maybe Democrats decide to continue to move to the left. Maybe that change the makeup of this race. We will have to see how this plays out. But let me know your thoughts down below. Who do you believe is the strongest contender in the Republican primary in New York? And as always, drop down below, hit that subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts down below. And as always, folks, we will catch you next time.